What's going on, everybody? It's your resident nerd, Lance, and I'm hanging out with Gabe and the Jedi Troll. Welcome to this week's episode of Absurd Words from Your Preferred Nerds. And on today's episode, as we often do, we're going to kick things off with our Bad Movie Club segment. And on this week's episode of Bad Movie Club, we're going to talk about Reptilian, a.k.a. Yonggary 2001. Gabe, you got anything to say about this movie?
Wakanda forever! So, I didn't take as many notes on this movie as I did last week's, Samurai Cop. This movie was Godzilla. It was,
on steroids.
No. So...
Well, there was the line where the one guy said, "This guy makes Godzilla look like a pussy."
Yeah, but I mean, as far as the initial, there he is, oh shoot, let's kill him, and then, oh hey, except with the exception.
Oh yeah, it's very
there's
much
aliens this time.
Follows the Godzilla Japanese kaiju movie structure.
Definitely, to a T, until they bring in the aliens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've done aliens in Godzilla movies as well.
Yeah,
but never controlling Godzilla,
right.
Usually controlling the alien monsters.
And I think these guys remind me of Power Rangers.
Power Rangers villains on aliens?
Yeah, honestly.
Kind of look like putties.
Now, I will say this. The acting, some of the actors were actually decent. Like, some of the pilots were decent.
Are you crediting actors in this? Because, I feel like some of the acting this was like some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Some of it, yes. But there's some here and there that did okay. What about the guy at the beginning who was talking about the dinosaur, and then he calls his buddy, and I don't know. Steve?
Dr. Camber or Dr. Hughes?
See?
Okay, and there's that.
Dr. Hughes being the most notable actor in the movie. I think I wrote his name down in here somewhere. I did not, but he is best known for playing the elderly version of Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan. So Matt Damon's face morphs into his at the end of the movie there.
So you're saying that after doing this film, after doing Saving Private Ryan, he got this coveted role?
Yeah, his career never quite took off after Saving Private Ryan. He was getting a little bit of a late start, I suppose.
Because technically this movie is 1999, correct?
Yeah, the movie was released originally in 1999. It's a South Korean film. At the time, it was the largest budget of a most expensive movie ever made in South Korea.
And it was, you could tell why. The special effects are phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Well, the movie was shot using the traditional Japanese technique of suitmation, which is what they use in the old Godzilla movies. An actor in a suit stomping around miniature cities and cars and stuff. But at some point during the production, they decided to scrap all the suitmation and reshoot everything with CGI, because I guess at the time it was supposed to be more cutting edge and more real, but it winds up looking very, very dated here in 2020.
The suits, I agree with you. The suits look way better. Way
you can even
better.
find pictures online of the suits. I'll probably throw them on the screen here, as I often do. They looked way better.
10 times. I wish, when they go back and, rewatch to edit and all this, I wish they would see that and be like, yeah, let's use the suits. Let's just do that. Because the CGI...
If only Werner Herzog had been there.
Yeah.
He'd say, "You cowards, leave it in."
Of course, this is the 2001 Upgrade Edition.
It is. The original version was never released on home video or anything, so we don't have...
So this is pretty much along the same lines as George Lucas never releasing the theatrical cuts again of Star Wars. And all we have is the...
Are we going to compare Yonggary in any capacity to Star Wars, especially the original prequel, original trilogy?
There's aliens, oppressive aliens in it. The Galaxians.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but there's a movie that came out back in 2007 called Dragon Wars, a.k.a. D-War.
D-War sounds familiar.
Not a great movie, but it's kind of fun. But it's actually the same director. So that became after...
As Reptilian?
Yeah. Same director as Reptilian, but I think a better movie. So it could still probably fall on Bad Movie Club at some point. but it's not as bad.
Oh, joy.
Is that the one with Sean Connery as the voice of the dragon?
No, that is Dragon Heart, not Dragon Wars.
Is it the one with Matthew McConaughey and
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale.
No, that's Reign of Fire.
Oh.
It's not How to Train Your Dragon. It's not Way of the Dragon or Enter the Dragon. It's not...
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, anything else with dragons, it is not. But...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Don't
turn
leave.
the heat off there because it
Don't
is
go away
loud.
mad.
I thought you left us.
Yeah, I mean, I almost did.
You scared me.
These movies are so bad, I'd want to just get up and leave anyway.
So scary.
So scary.
The movie did scare me.
Did it?
Yes, it was. Or yes, it did. Yes, it was.
Were you worried that you were going to get stepped on by a giant monster?
Yes. Or the aliens were going to be out in space and sending giant things down too.
That's where aliens are, in space.
Well, I was
Most of the
legitimately
time.
worried that I was going to be stuck hanging out with that photojournalist because he seemed like a really poor man's Jim Belushi. And considering Jim Belushi's catalog of films and work, he's a poor man's Jim Belushi himself. So, the backwards Kangol hat and everything. God, terrible.
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 This movie was actually, as Steve hinted at, released in 1999 as Yonggary in Korea. And then released in 2001 in the rest of the world, including the United States, as Reptilian. And the box art, as you guys can see here, is a complete knockoff of the 1998 Sony American Godzilla movie.
Yeah, because even on the side.
Yeah, the font, everything is designed
resembles.
to rip off Godzilla.
And of course, Yonggary is not to be confused with the 2004 movie that was the origin story of SpongeBob's pet.
Yonggary.
Let's see. It says you can't keep a good monster down. Prepare for a sci-fi action like never before when a giant fire-breathing dinosaur buried for over 2 million years is resurrected and unleashed on the world. An exciting film with widespread appeal. So, like we've never before experienced. So, Godzilla, this must have come out before Godzilla.
No, I think they're saying that it dwarfs Godzilla in its greatness.
Well, he's 50 times the size of a T-Rex? Was it 50 times?
I think that
50
was what they
times.
quoted, yeah.
Yes.
T-Rexes are fairly large. Google it.
Yeah, but did you know that they actually were not carnivores? Their teeth were not strong enough to bite through like actual live scales of the other dinosaurs. They actually went around and ate on rotting
So they were
carcasses.
carnivores in the sense that they
yes,
ate
they
meat,
were.
but they
Yeah,
weren't
I didn't mean to say
predators.
that.
They were
Right.
scavengers.
They were scavengers. I'm sorry,
So
I didn't mean
they-
to say they weren't carnivores.
Like vultures.
They're herbivores.
They would be able to tear at the bellies of the dinosaurs
Right,
where they were
right.
softer.
And due to their short arms, they couldn't use silverware.
Oh, here we
Would
go.
that be a spoon, fork, or knife for all three?
Spork?
A
Yeah. Any silverware.
They couldn't use a spork.
So for some more factual historical context for the movie here, it's actually loosely based on the 1967 movie Yonggary Monster of the Deep, which is made at the height of Godzilla's popularity. So it was the Korean Godzilla, kind of.
Godzilla was popular at one time?
Ouch. Steve, why are you burning
No,
Lance, especially this early?
I'm asking a question.
Now you know what you did. You
Let
heard-
him bite Steve right now.
All right, ready? Steve, here he comes.
That's
How's
what
that-
this show will devolve into now. It's just going to be an hour of us playing with toys.
How does that feel?
That's a scary looking iguana.
That's from Shin Godzilla. He's
Shin
all deformed looking and ugly.
Well, let's say you start looking like your pets.
Ouch. Well, okay, so that could actually be a compliment because Godzilla does look pretty epic. So,
Oh, here's the actual line. I did write it down for some reason. That 50 times. He's like, 50? You say 50 times the size of a T-Rex? Are you serious?
are you serious?
So that was the quote from our photojournalist, Jim Belushi knockoff.
Fantastic. It was great.
I was suckered in, as was probably the intention, by the VHS box art at my local Blockbuster back in 2001 to rent the VHS copy of it and watch it at home. And I wasn't impressed, but it wound up having a soft spot in my heart, so I was obligated to buy it on DVD as an adult.
Why?
You wasn't impressed, but you had to buy
You
it.
spent money anyways.
Well, because when you watch things as a kid, you take everything sort of literally, especially like teenager. You watch it, it's like, oh, that was terrible. But as an adult, you're like, oh man, that movie was terrible. I need to watch it again. You know, you can watch things more ironically and watch it for different reasons. You feel nostalgic about watching something you saw at a younger age. So it's terrible. I knew it was terrible, and I made the conscious decision to own it and have it on my shelf as part of my collection, and I have seen it probably at least a dozen times in my lifespan.
So it was terrible. Still is terrible. And you made a terrible decision to buy it.
I
And to
did.
keep watching it.
I mean, the fact that
And
I was
keep watching.
in the middle of watching the latter half of the movie when you guys got here on my TV over there, so you guys got to experience the climax of the movie with me.
And it felt
And as long as that's the
terrible.
only climax that we ever experienced together, we'll be in good shape.
oh, but where's that drummer at?
You know, we never got the drummer. I guess
Oh,
we
yeah.
never hit that subscriber count.
Yeah, not
But
yet.
guys, we want to thank you over the last few weeks for helping us up our subscriber count, our view count, and our likes on Facebook. I want you guys to keep at it. I did want to make a note, though. Looking at the analytics of YouTube, it looks like only at least 70% of all of our YouTube views actually come from non-subscribers. So if everybody that watches these videos and enjoys them could hit that little subscribe button there on your screen or on your phone, just click that. We'd very much appreciate it. We need to get to a certain subscriber count before we can monetize these videos, before we can interact with you guys on a more personal level. Have fun with that. Give a personalized URL so it's easier for you guys to find us in a web browser. So just subscribe on YouTube. Thank you.
And hit that little dingy bell
The dingy bell.
if you want to know when we do post the videos. Of course, we'll try our best to keep y'all up to date as much as possible. But that little dingy bell, that thing is epic too.
Yeah, it'll notify you on YouTube with a push notification saying, hey, these guys posted a new video. Why don't you drop whatever you're doing? You know, if you're carrying your child around, just sit them down in the corner and go watch the new video.
I always mistook that for ringing in my ears, but it was actually I was getting an alert.
The bell.
The bell.
So we don't have as much to say about this movie because its flaws are very well worn on its sleeve. It's very obvious what is wrong with this movie. Dated CGI, generally terrible acting.
The cars look absolute. Now, some of the sets look decent,
Yeah, decent miniature works.
but the
on
cars.
sets. But yeah, the cars, they look blatantly like toys. They're very poorly made models.
Old, like Hot Wheel knockoff cars or something. I don't know.
Steve, how did you feel about this movie?
There's
Look how
that.
deep in thought he is.
I just felt like
You wanted more.
I don't know. I wanted much less. I mean, I did like the soldiers playing like Boba and Jango Fett with their little jetpacks flying around.
That's true.
That was some marvelous special effects with those jetpacks.
You made a comment how you enjoyed those jetpacks.
Yeah. There are some very terrible looking jetpacks in this movie. And the one soldier who has to kamikaze into the gem or jewel in the middle of Yonggary's head in order to break the alien's control over him. He has some very laughable lines before he commits suicide and tries to save the day.
And then what did his buddy say that was down on the ground afterwards? He's like,
It's like all that and he's still standing or
oh,
something like
yeah.
that.
All that, and he's still standing.
You've worn out your welcome.
Oh, yeah. Taking a pea shooter to a A 50-foot tall
The
T-Rex.
one general, though, probably the worst actor of the movie.
Yes.
God, so over the top. It's so bad. The delivery of all those lines.
So bad. So bad.
So bad.
I feel like if the military command in this movie, if this actually happened, then I would have no faith that we could ever stop it, because the whole command center was pretty...
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't be winning any wars anytime soon if that was the state of our military.
Not at all. We would win less wars.
Now, granted, when the second monster showed up, that's right, 2 monsters.
Spoiler alert.
That's,
Twist.
That's why the budget went way up, because they had to add a second monster.
They had to, because
No
like I
pictures
said,
of the
it's
second
just
monster
like
on here, 'cause I
Godzilla.
was going to show you guys.
But go ahead.
And then the aliens sent a second monster to try to stop. What are we calling him in this movie? Are we calling him Reptilian or Yonggary?
Well, Reptilian's the title of the movie, but he's always Yonggary.
Okay.
He's a kaiju.
When the aliens sent the other one down, it got more of a... I felt more like a Roland Emmerich, like Independence Day type of film.
I didn't see Will
You didn't
Smith
feel
in it.
like a Roland Emmerich Godzilla type of
But
film?
Will Smith never showed up to save the movie, is the problem.
Yeah, I was waiting on that.
Yeah, if somebody with acting abilities could have showed up to save the movie, it would have been much appreciated. Will Smith or whoever. Jeff Goldblum, Bill
Although
Pullman,
some of the
Robert Loggia.
plot would seem like it was something Randy Quaid would write these days.
As crazy as his ass is, probably.
I was glad to see a South Korean film that was it was all in English at least,
It was. It's same thing with Dragon Wars. For some reason, they make these movies. They're made in South Korea, primarily for their South Korean audience, but they film them in English with hopes that they'll become popular here as well. And for
In this case, it did not work.
it did not. It was straight to video
Although it made, didn't it make 13 million or something?
in Korea, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it did well over there because it was the most expensive movie they'd ever made in their country.
This one?
Yes. But
imagine how much a black market copy of the original version would go for them.
I've looked.
Probably thousands of dollars.
I've looked very hard online to find something for the original because I'm curious as to what the non-upgraded special effects really look like. I don't know if it's the original suitmation effects or if it's just more primitive CGI, but I'd love to know what that looked like.
Well, that's in this version, the soldier shoots first.
So you're saying in the original cut, Yonggary shoots first?
Yes. That was the most controversial thing they changed out of this movie.
Well, there's also that scene at the end where Yonggary's like, no, and then throws the other monster down the shaft to his death.
Like Darth Vader.
They added blinking as well.
No.
Did he say McClucky? Was that in there?
Yes. Yes, it was.
I will, full disclosure here, as my fondness for this terrible movie goes so deep that we actually, my wife and I had a pet lizard, a blue-tongued skink, and I named him Yonggary.
After something terrible?
After this movie.
After something awful.
Was he poorly rendered too, or
Ouch.
No, he was a good lizard.
Good lizard. What type of lizard?
Blue-tongued skink.
So he wasn't a T-Rex.
No, he's like a... No.
Was he 50 times the size of a...
He was about this big. He's a
Okay.
decent-sized lizard. I'll show a picture to you guys, and then I can put one up on screen for the folks watching at home or on their phones while they're out doing delinquent-type things.
Delinquent. Like wrecking buildings, stomping on cars.
Yeah, I mean, wherever the day takes you throughout your various kaiju activities.
Kaiju. Would you, if you had a choice to become a kaiju or pilot a Jaeger, what would you do?
Well, I could never be a kaiju because I was actually brought up Kaij Catholic. Was that Steve enough for you?
Yeah. That was pretty Steve. He didn't like it. Steve.
He doesn't like the copyright infringement on his style of humor.
That's true. Steve, you got a joke for us?
Religious jokes should be off topic.
Well, give us a joke to make up for it. Oh, he's adorable. Or she. He.
His name's Yonggary. It's got to be a he.
So.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to imply that Yonggary couldn't have been a female
Right.
movie, because in the 1998
It's-
I didn't
Godzilla
call it
movie...
Young Mary.
It's
Young
gender
Gary.
neutral.
So in the 98 Godzilla movie, it was a female, because they had eggs.
So.
Oh, there's another picture as well. Oh, come on.
So, yesterday, though, or actually earlier, when I was watching this, I got super hungry. So I ate a clock.
Did you, Gabe?
I did. I had a clock.
How'd you eat a clock?
Very carefully, and it was time consuming. And the worst part is,
Did you use both hands, the little one and the one?
I did. And I went back for seconds.
So I let you do it, but Marina dropped that in one of our group chats, your wife, and it was just
That was
as
Marina's
painful
joke.
reading it as it was hearing it aloud.
That was Marina's joke. Shout out. So, just thought I'd throw that in there. Because just like that joke, that movie was very time consuming and a waste of time.
How long is that movie? It's Yonggary is...
Hour and 2 minutes.
An hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah.
It feels
No,
longer.
I'm guessing. I'm
It was
guessing.
an hour and a half.
99 minutes.
Well, I was right.
Again, with some of these bad movies, some editing could spare you from some of the worst aspects of it. And,
Or a producer not funding the project to start with.
well, I'm just saying that if you cut it down to the better moments or the more amusing moments, it would be a much more enjoyable film. Like most of these.
That would be called a teaser trailer.
Well,
'Cause it would be
Touche.
about 30 seconds long.
Touche.
does anybody have anything else to say on this film before we give it a rating?
Not on this film, no.
Steve?
Have you seen the original version?
The
1967.
I think I had when I was younger, because I used to watch a lot of old Godzilla movies and Kaiju movies and stuff like that with my grandfather, but I don't remember anything specific about it if I did.
It's a good thing they didn't take what stopped him in the original movie.
What stopped him in the original?
He had one weakness.
What's that?
Ammonia.
Really?
And they had to sort of insert it up his butt.
Did they really?
Yes.
Ammonia up the ass to kill a giant kaiju.
Because ammonia was his
Wow.
weakness.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
That makes me want to watch it even more.
Maybe we'll visit the original on one of these episodes.
I am totally kidding.
You telling me you're not dying for more Yonggary?
I don't want to see ammonia being shoved up a kaiju's rear.
To each his own.
Are you
Whatever
saying you
floats your
do?
boat, man.
Oh, good lord.
It's either that or we could watch more of...
Robo Vampire 2.
we're going to watch Robo Vampire 2.
Remember that
And
one?
3.
And 3.
And 3. Remember that one?
Complete the trilogy.
Or we could watch more of Samurai Cop running around in a banana hammock on
Yeah.
the beach.
I remember that one too. We just did one on that one last week.
We did. So, Steve, or I'll start with Gabe, as we often do. Ratings on the So Good scale.
It's a 1.
A 1?
A 1 so good.
1 so good. So where does this rank among the other movies that we've watched on this channel so far?
So, I mean, it's definitely better than Robo Vampire.
So Robo Vampire is still...
It is the
Your rock
least.
bottom.
It
I
is
thought
the
was
rock
a
bottom.
1. So it's tied.
Yeah, I mean, well, because if you're... You can
But
give
as
it...
far as
You can't go lower, so...
right, so as
Give
far
it a
as
half if you want to.
it's a better one than Robo Vampire, but Robo Vampire sits on the very bottom list. Then this
You
one.
give it a 1.5, so it still sits lower than everything else.
Oh yeah, this one. So Robo Vampire, this one, then probably Samurai Cop, and then Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
So, 1.
1 so good.
How could you rank Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires above Samurai Cop because he was trained in Asia and he knows fluent Japanese.
But he's from San Diego.
Yes, but he was trained in Japan.
In Japan. Trained.
Steve, rating?
Oh, a 1.
1?
1.
Mm.
So this is the lowest score you given anything.
I know. Robo Vampire was a 7.
And did you give a 7 to Robo or 7.5 to Samurai Cop?
Yes.
And what did you give Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires? Like a lower? It was like 3 or 4 or something.
4.
4. So what about what made this a 1 compared to Robo Vampire being a 7?
I'm curious.
Robo Vampire had like characters I cared about.
Like who?
Well, there was like Jenny and.
So you're telling me you didn't get as invested in the characters in this?
No, I mean,
Not even Yonggary, the titular character?
I was when it started out. Of course, I'm pulling for mankind, and then about halfway through the movie, I'm like, well, like maybe just kill us all and put us out of this misery. And then I'm like, well, maybe the aliens should just blow up our planet. I mean, at that point, I just didn't.
So you're saying that it was so bad that you were wishing that they would just kill us all?
Ouch.
Or at least me.
But
so I wouldn't have to finish watching.
Okay.
Hang on. This is a 1.
Yes.
Robo Vampire is a legitimate 7.
They seem like a real threat. They start hopping at you, and like this monster, this reptilian, this
50-foot T-Rex that can breathe fire.
All you have to do to stop a robo vampire is tape your China buffet receipt to his head. He just stops moving.
Hence why that should be higher on the list.
But I'm saying, like, I want to like tape paper over my eyes to avoid watching this.
Your rating is your rating. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. I don't even know. I didn't even think about where I would rank this. What did I rank Samurai Cop? Is it a 5 or 4?
We can go back and look
I'd
at
give it a
last
3.
week.
I'd give this a 3.
3. There you go.
Yeah, 3.
What was... 3! 3! Hey! What was Robo Vampire?
You'd think
2.
was it a 3 the first time you watched it, or like on the 12th? Has it changed? Has 3 changed over the?
No, I mean I've always known that this movie was terrible. I just keep subjecting it to myself to it. So I've never not thought it was bad, but I just said I've enjoyed the badness the older I've gotten. I'm sure this is one of the few times that Steve didn't turn around when we hated something or thought it was terrible and like defended it. He was like, "No, this is." He ranked it worse than us.
He said 1.
Really.
Period. Robo Vampire's way better. But I mean, that's your opinion. I respect it.
There's no need for that.
Don't respect it?
Nope.
Steve, I do not respect your opinion. Only kidding. Only kidding. I do. Lance, that's mean. Stop it.
I've already watched Robo Vampire 2 because I had to see where the story went after the first one. So I'm going to enjoy when we talk about that one whenever we get to that day, because
Yeah, you know what?
the hopping vampires come into play 2 minutes into the film.
We'll make that our movie for next week. Robo Vampire 2.
Oh, also, we can throw in a new addition because I'm going to let him use my, the Prime. So we can check out Shark Exorcist, rated a 1.3, and that trailer made me want to bang my head up against spikes.
It's funny that you got almost upset with me for making you watch Reptilian, and then Shark Exorcist is one that you've been pushing for a minute. So
because I know we're looking for bad movies.
Between the two, which one do we want to watch next so we can recommend it to our audience? Robo Vampire 2?
Robo
Shark
Vampire
Exorcist?
2, because he's ready for it. So let's do that, and then we can jump to Shark Exorcist on the next one.
Okay. So, if you guys want to play along at home, search Robo Vampire 2 on YouTube.
That's the 1987 sequel to the 1988 original film.
Yeah, not quite sure how that works out, but it does. Do the math.
The sequel.
No, don't do the math. That's the problem.
Wasn't there a subtitle for it or something? Robo Vampire 2? I know the third one definitely did.
They all have subtitles, but once you just say Robo Vampire, it's pretty synonymous with. You don't get caught up into the
Devil's Dynamite.
Devil's
That's the title
Dynamite.
of the sequel. Because the third one is Counter Destroy.
Oh, God.
So we have that to look forward to. So
surely they get better.
It has a more terrifying villain, I'll tell you that.
That doesn't tell me much.
Honestly,
that tells me nothing.
Steve Cox.
Is the villain?
Yes, and everybody says his full name every time they talk about him.
Give us an example.
Like in every scene when they say, well, where's he at? Who? Steve Cox. Even his henchmen call him Steve Cox.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, I don't remember a time where they just called him
Steve
Mr. Cox or Steve
Cox.
Just Steve Cox.
Well, you know Steve, our friend, Steve Chappell, right?
Mm-hmm. You guys are buds.
Yeah. How close are you with Steve?
I'm just a fan of his work.
Yeah. What work?
Huh?
What work? Wait a minute. You're the Jedi Troll. Do you give him material, or does he give you material?
You guys do have a similar sense of humor.
Yeah. So I guess, are you training him?
Well, I mean, it's all the great comedians have a similar sense of humor. Like, you know, Richard Pryor, George Carlin. I mean, it's unique.
George Clooney.
Carlin.
Oh. He's comparing himself to Pryor and Carlin.
I get you.
Bold statement.
I'm sorry. All right, touche.
So, next week's episode, Robo Vampire 2, Devil's Dynamite.
Devil's Dynamite came out after, and it's the...
Well, it came out before. Before.
The sequel came out before in 87.
Yeah,
It doesn't get less confusing the more you talk about it.
So, if the second one looks a little bit more cheaply made, it's because they used all the money they made on the second one to produce the big budget first one the next year.
Big budget.
Just spoil this for us. Are there Chinese food menus in this one as well?
Yes. And you see the origin, you see the creator of the Robo Vampires.
Oh. Wait, they're robots in this one?
Well, these are the hopping vampires.
Oh, okay.
Do we find out the backstory of why they hop?
Remember, our Robo wasn't, in the first one, wasn't really a vampire.
Right. He was
more of a cop.
A cop.
A Robo.
A Robo cop. Not a samurai cop.
RoboCop.
Like last week. But
we get a lot of movies with vampire in the title.
That's what Marina
and
said.
Cop in the title.
That's exactly what Marina said. Shout out. Woo!
So we had Robo Vampire, Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, and now then Samurai Cop. And then we're going back to Robo Vampire.
Well, 2. And then we had Yingling.
Yeah, Reptilian. Shout out to Reptilian.
Yonggary. Woo! There's only one that's not a Robo Cop or vampire.
So good for him.
Yes, you did it, buddy.
Or Samurai Cop.
Or a Super Samurai Cop.
So check that out, and you guys can tune in next time and suffer with us.
Also, next week, I imagine Gabe will be calling in sick, so he won't have to watch it.
Want to wish everyone a very happy Valentine's Day.
That's right.
It's likely you're watching this either on Friday, which is Valentine's Day, or Saturday, the day after Valentine's Day, when you can go to the store and get some discounted Valentine's Day candy.
Happy Valentine's Day, or happy belated Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say, in a couple of years, we got the best romantic movie coming out. Okay? So this
We're talking rom-coms now?
This is special, okay? This is special for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
It's a story, okay? Like all things. It's a story about a god of thunder, and he is rekindled and reunited with his old flame. Also, a new king is searching for her queen. And Christian Bale. And that's all I'll say on the matter.
That's all we know at the
Happy
moment.
Valentine's Day.
This is a crazy film. What's it called?
It's called Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, sounds romantic.
For Valentine's
Sounds like a
Day.
sappy romance movie.
It sounds like a dirty movie. Love and Thunder. It's like a Rough Rider love movie. No? Scratch that. We'll just... Okay. Never mind. But it will be phenomenal. And I thought I'd mention it since it's Valentine's Day and I mention it every cast we do. So. Alright. Well,
Yes, because we always have weekly updates on a movie that's not even in pre-production.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's...
Well, we could. Speaking of Taika,
Yes.
I did finally get around to watching JoJo Rabbit in full.
Nice.
Phenomenal movie. Just it's easily I could see Best Picture nomination because it's one of the best movies
He's
of
like...
the year of 2019. It was it's all the ones I watched from 2019 that were nominated for Best Picture. Like clearly, they have their merits, but this was one of the better ones I watched.
He's just he's slowly becoming like one of my favorite directors. I mean, even like older stuff, like his What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's like dry humor, similar to The Office, which is phenomenal, by the way. But he did. I mean, he's freaking hilarious. Taika is. He loves the cast. He's willing to help them out. He's willing to listen to their ideas. It's not like he just goes in and tries to overwhelm everybody. It's like he's a part of it instead of being separate as a director, producer, or whatever. He's a part of it, and he lets them be a part of it, and he's gaining like major momentum.
Oh yeah,
he has been, but
What movie do you think that like actors love him on the set?
all.
well Ragnarok. I mean, clearly because
Everyone loved him.
He
He let it's like
he let Chris
almost all
Hemsworth kind of
prop.
make the character his own.
Right,
finally, yeah.
and then it's like improv, like half of it, and then of course What We Do in the Shadows. They loved him then. It was hilarious, so fun.
Well, like I've seen some behind the scenes people on JoJo Rabbit said he was walking around the set like Hitler.
Good Lord!
So in Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi does play Adolf Hitler, but he's not playing the real Adolf Hitler. He's playing the imaginary friend of a young boy growing up in Nazi Germany, who's growing up with the ambition to become a Nazi soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And what better imaginary friend to have than Hitler?
Well, yeah, you would think, because he's got to be your hero. If you're growing up idolizing Nazis, Adolf Hitler is the perfect imaginary friend.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
And he's hilarious in the movie. He just it's not glorifying Nazis at all. He is shitting all over Hitler and making fun of him. I think Scarlett Johansson, who plays the young boy's mother, even makes a joke about he can't even grow a full mustache. Scarlett Johansson, phenomenal. Best Actress nominee in the movie. Rebel Wilson plays a character in it. Alfie Allen, Theon Greyjoy, Reek from Game of Thrones, plays a character in it. Sam Rockwell
He's such a good actor,
plays a
too.
Nazi in it.
Sam.
Steve
that's
Merchant
good.
plays a member of the SS. Such a good
It's a
cast.
stacked
Yeah.
cast.
It is a phenomenal movie.
I have not seen it, but dang,
It is. It's very,
Wow.
very, very funny. Has a moment in the movie that kind of hits you like a gut punch, where like it gets serious, makes you want to cry. But it's otherwise a hilarious movie.
I know another movie coming out next week or no, this week.
Yeah.
It'll probably be out by Sonic
Sonic the Hedgehog.
and his redesign. What do you think about Sonic?
Well,
And Tails and I hope Knuckles is in it so bad. I hope they do a surprise.
That's the rumor, is that there's 2 post-credit scenes in the movie. We haven't gotten a confirmation on that yet, but if one of them, if we do, I hope one of them shows Tails and Knuckles.
Go ahead.
well, I haven't seen any of the reviews or anything yet for it, so I don't know how it's.
Doing or
I know how the first trailer went over so well.
Well, I mean, it is tracking to do rather well, which was a surprise considering how poorly received that first trailer was. But
He just didn't look good.
People feel obligated with all the complaining that we did to
go
now
see
we have
it.
to go see it since we got our way.
They went back and completely fixed it for the entire film.
Yeah, it looks so much better.
And it does. And, most everyone on Earth is a Sonic fan. I mean, they've played it when they were younger. Sometime in their life, they've, I don't know, seen the toys or something, bought them. So it's going to be a fun movie.
Funny.
Dude, he looks hilarious in it. And I love Jim Carrey. So, but I think it'll be good.
I think so.
I think if you like it, then you should run through Rings to see it.
Oh, Jedi Troll. Jedi.
Actually, I should have had this on here for this episode.
Uh-oh.
My little McDonald's Sonic and Knuckles toy.
Do you have Knuckles?
It's Knuckles.
Dang. No, I hope they break. Dang. Look at that. Can y'all see it? Lance is breaking stuff.
Woo!
No, I'm kidding.
I knocked Yoda down again.
Wait a minute. Is that Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, from
He's got Mr. Freeze up there.
Batman and Robin.
Yep. Which was, yeah.
It's
won't go into that.
Something that belongs on Bad Movie Club because I love that movie, but it's terrible.
Yeah, we should go. We should add it because I would enjoy watching that one again for a bad movie.
Got around to watching Togo finally with the wife.
Okay, and you recommended it to me.
I did.
We're gonna watch it now. Is it sad? Like, is it like bawl your eyes out sad?
No. I mean, the movie itself, like, it's a great story. The scale on it is so big, it really doesn't feel like it belonged debuting on Disney Plus.
It should have been in theaters.
Yes, because Disney's putting Call of the Wild out in the theaters, and arguably it has the bigger star, Harrison Ford.
Right, but William Dafoe is fantastic.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe gives such a good performance in this. The fact that they used real dogs as opposed to CGI, they look
like in Call of the Wild.
Yeah, Call of the Wild, the dog looks a little too animated.
He looks a little cheap.
But really good movie. There are some heavy moments to it, and when you get to the end, like, it gets a little sad, but not like the whole movie is not sad. And
not like John Wick first movie sad. Yeah. That is probably still the saddest thing I've seen.
It feels very earned when you get to the end, and it feels like the natural conclusion to the story.
Okay.
And Becky did tear up a bit, but it was...
But not lose it like in Jurassic Park, the new one, or like John Wick. Dude, I can't get over John. That's still the saddest part. If I ever show Marina those movies, I will fast forward through just that part.
Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance, if you haven't seen it yet, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there is, hands down, one of the saddest scenes I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Very sad.
Involving Brachiosaurus. And my wife, we saw it in the theater. She cried for like 10 minutes inconsolably in the theater. Like, to where she was missing parts of the movie after that because she was still crying and her eyes were...
I mean, and they drug it out. They just like, come on, guys. It was extremely sad. It was extremely sad.
If you're any sort of an animal lover, even these extinct animated animals, it's sad.
Still a movie. They're still portraying something. So, dang. What do you think, Steve?
Are we talking about the same movie? I thought this was a movie about fast food.
What?
Togo?
Yeah.
Togo.
Like, I want a burger to go. I thought it was about someone who worked in a fast food restaurant.
It could be. You want to...
a lot of people are very familiar with the story of Balto because they did like 5 animated movies based on him, and there's a statue
like 6 or
in
7
Central
or 8
Park
or 10.
commemorating him. But this is actually based a little more historically on it because in Balto, they sort of implied that Balto and his team of dog sled dogs ran the entire distance to get the serum back to these sick kids in Alaska. But in real life, what happened was it was a relay. So, like, one team would start off with it, they'd hand the serum off to another team, they'd hand it off to another team, and then finally back to the town.
Gotcha.
So Balto's team ran the last leg of it, and that's why they're the most famous, because they were there handing off the serum to these doctors I think it was in Nome, Alaska, so that they could save these kids, and the news reporters liked the name Balto, so that's what they used.
Gotcha.
This wasn't secret serum, was it?
It was not secret super soldier serum or anything.
Oh, man.
But
think about that.
The Togo and his team actually ran the longest leg of it, which was like 4 or 5 times longer through worse territory and through colder, harsher conditions than Balto's team, but Balto gets the recognition.
Dang.
So there's a little bit of saltiness there, I guess, probably in real life, but really good movie. I really recommend you guys checking it out. Willem Dafoe, excellent performance, some great special effects, great story, everything. And it's on Disney Plus. If you already have Disney Plus, it won't cost you anything extra to watch it.
And you can kill time waiting for Mandalorian Season 2.
Exactly.
And if you want to touch Jason, you can.
I just saw the little button on it here, and I was like, what is that button?
I saw your hand going for it.
There's
and I was
supposed to be
like,
a
"It's
projectile
yours."
on the front here that I was like,
Like a little disc, I think.
oh, yeah, something like that. It's like an old McDonald's toy.
But I mean, it's yours. So I was saying, if you want to touch Jason, he's there. Okay, there you go. All right, sorry. I had a squirrel moment. Squirrel. Thinking of Boss Nass. You said no thinking you said better than the Goonkins? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Alright. So?
Well, I don't know how to follow that up, Gabe. What did you just do?
I just tried to do a Boss Nass impression. Make you bombard general.
That's it. I'm canceling this show. We're done. the channel's over. Unsubscribe, unlike, unfollow.
What do you mean?
It's over.
I didn't say Jar Jar.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
It's over, Johnny. I get.
It's my First Blood reference for the episode.
Yeah, that was nice.
Don't worry. We'll be back in a few years with a real series finale podcast, since we didn't get to go out on the right terms.
Netflix will pick us up for a revival series, limited series.
And then they'll cancel my contract. Like, hey, we don't want the Boss Nass impersonator. Let's just leave the Goon
That
Gibbs
could
out
lead
of this.
to some problems down the line.
Oh, by the way,
And then maybe the more popular characters here on the show can go work with Adam Sandler at Netflix as well.
I will do no such thing.
and by the way, I hate Jar Jar Binks saying the Goongans. I also am not a fan of the Ewoks. In the original script, it should have been the Wookiees, which would have made for a 10 times better battle
Yeah, but here's
indoor.
the problem. Like, you're looking at it through that historical lens.
They want to sell more.
No, I'm not saying that. You're looking at it through the wrong lens. Like, because if you went to watch the movie at the time when there was no internet and you had no idea that that was the case, you didn't think, oh man, that should have been Wookiees.
Right, but I didn't like the Ewoks when they brought it in. When I first watched Return of the Jedi, I was like, why are they fighting teddy bears? Why?
I like the Ewoks.
So I wasn't a huge fan of it. And then later I found out it was Wookiees, and I'm like, boom. See, it would have been a better fight. It made more sense than tiny teddy bears beating up stormtroopers that can't shoot for crap.
Yeah, see, they can't shoot. So
Yeah, but they can still punch better than little Ewoks can.
No, they Ewoks have like death traps set up. They're banging on their skulls for drama.
Plus, the plot would have made no sense.
Why?
Because Wookiees don't live on a moon and Endor. They live on Kashyyyk.
Right, it was going to be on their home world.
But that's the thing. They could
The
have
Death
easily
Star
have-
they were going to have the shield generator on the Wookiee planet and the Death Star up there. Which would have been better than Wookiee or Ewoks.
If you were going to have something take place on Kashyyyk, there's only one family to show on that.
Okay.
It's probably for the best that we didn't get Kashyyyk at the time. Because if they would have showed up with friggin' Lumpy, Chewie, and what's her name? His wife's name?
Mala?
Yes, Mala. If they would have been made canon by George Lucas in Return of the Jedi, I probably never would have watched another Star Wars movie again.
So, and I do have to say though, real quick.
Give him a minute to pull out his Ewok adventure.
It's all the way over there. I can't get up and walk around.
He has that though, because he
I
loves
have
Ewoks.
I have the Ewoks movies, the two
Ewoks
television
movies.
films on DVD.
But yet you don't like Stumpy and Chewbacca's family.
No, they're terrible. Lumpy looks like an abomination. Chewie is horrifying and ugly. His
So
wife
are the
has no care.
Ewoks.
You know,
Their
this is
faces are like
this is our-
bunched up.
This is our Valentine's Day episode,
Special.
and like I'm not feeling the love at all.
You
on this
hate a
on
family.
podcast.
I'm just a hateful person.
Now listen, I will say this.
Now join us in November for our annual Life Day episode podcast.
We will do no such thing.
I'm not saying that the Ewoks are better. If you like the Ewoks, anyone that likes the Ewoks, that's awesome. I love Star Wars. It's just, I wish it had been, but I still love Return of the Jedi. So I'm not saying the movie sucks because of the Ewoks. I'm just not a fan of them. So
You just wish Warwick Davis had never really got a break in show business, is what you're saying.
ouch.
That's what you're wishing for.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because
He never would have been in it.
So
All right.
career
That's
never would've
not
taken
what
off.
I'm saying.
You just said it.
Stuff it, Stumpy. Oh my lord.
I know we haven't caught up quite on My Hero yet, so I did have a little bit of anime to talk about.
Okay.
Briefly, I'm watching currently on Prime the newer Blade of the Immortal series.
That sounds cool.
It's pretty badass. It's hard R, like very graphic violence and stuff on it.
Are you binging it?
Not in the traditional sense like I normally would. I'm watching an episode or two a day. I'm not.
You saw last week's episode. You know that he has a binging problem.
Yeah, I'm not like it wasn't like The Promised Neverland where the story is so serialized that I have to watch to see what's next.
Right.
So I'm watching an episode or two a day and then continuing the next day. I'm not
Awesome.
powering through it. And it's not traditional anime because it's not Japanese, but it's done in an anime style. The Dragon Prince on Netflix. I finally got around to watching season 3.
Is that the one with Sean Connery as the voice of?
Are we going to do this again? Wasn't that this episode? No, it's an animated series from some of the people behind Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The movie?
No, the show.
Okay. I was going to say the show's fantastic.
Yeah, it's from
not
some
the
of
one with Korra. The one with Aang.
The one with the blue people?
No, not the movie.
Not Avatar.
Not Avatar. Avatar:
Last
The Last
Airbender.
Airbender, and not
No.
the Korra.
So it's a legitimately good series. I suggest you check it out if you're a fan of Last Airbender Avatar. It's on Netflix. It's in its third season. Seasons are all about 9 episodes long apiece, but the third season just starts ratcheting everything up. It gets huge, big, and epic. There's a battle in it that feels like something out of Lord of the Rings, or maybe even like the end battle from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first Chronicles of Narnia movie.
Very nice.
It's very big, like all the characters finally coming together. And this
It's a big claim. That's a big claim.
I'm not saying it's as good, but it's that feel, like that same,
I gotcha.
where you've watched all these characters for several seasons, finally everything comes to a head.
In game.
Yeah. I mean, like the end scene of Endgame. Finally seeing character interactions you've never seen before, seeing characters cross paths and fight, and it's just really good stuff.
Nice. I have started JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Have you really? Did you start at the beginning?
I have. So we went to Ohio see her family, and her brother was playing it, and it was later on, but it looked freaking sweet.
I love JoJo.
It looked freaking sweet. So I was like, I'm gonna finally watch it, and I watched the first episode, and then never picked it back up. Well, recently I picked it back up, and I'm on like 6 or 7 or something like that, episode 6 or 7, and it is phenomenal. I see why it's one of the acclaimed animes.
So, like, the thing to know about it, I don't know how far things are, but the first arc of the first season has much less to do with the rest of the show, like, or even the first 2 arcs. So, like, it changes up where they're like...
That's what I read. I read.
It changes up, like, the powers and
different
things like
Joe stars and stuff like
that.
that.
Yes, it's an anthology. Each season is about a different member of that lineage.
The Joe star, yeah. It's good, though. I mean,
I love
great.
that show.
It's
I'm all
great.
caught up on it.
Can't believe I didn't watch it before.
I love the bright colors, the crazy animation style.
Uh-huh.
The animation gets a little more fluid as it goes on, because in the earlier seasons...
Well, yeah, I noticed, because the episodes that he was on later on, they look more like a traditional anime like we're used to than the cartoon anime, like 3D type style that they have in season 1. But I just can't believe I haven't watched it yet, because it's like, some people tell me they haven't seen Trigun or Cowboy Bebop, and I'm like, you guys...
One of the coolest things on JoJo is each of the seasons uses an actual contemporary Western song for the ending theme song.
Nice.
So the first season is Roundabout by Yes. I can't remember, I won't remember all of them in the order that they're in. One of the seasons has a Jodeci song, which is like 90s R&B.
Nice.
American. One of them has, what's the name of that song? It's a...
Journey?
No, it's a Savage Garden song. I can't remember the name of it. The Cherry Cola.
Sure, it's not a Journey song.
No. Savage Garden. But either way, it's really weird to hear it in the context of an anime, like a Japanese anime with these Western, American, and European songs. It makes adds like this other level to it. That's pretty cool. But the cast on there is amazing, like the cast of characters that they put together.
Awesome.
Like, I love that show.
Would you have rather it been Journey?
No. I don't hate Journey. Let's get this out of the way for the record, because I'm sure this will be brought up in future episodes, because Steve likes to heart me on it. But I don't hate Journey. When we all worked together at Best Buy, our Best Buy radio that was company sanctioned broke. And we had a 5-disc, 6-disc changer set up to play CDs that were in our value bin. One of the CDs that they put in there was Journey's Greatest Hits Live.
Live. It was Journey's Greatest Hits live.
And I had to hear that way too much. They are inferior versions of the songs. They're not the studio versions. Had to hear that way too much until our radio was fixed. And I hated it. And everybody took that to mean Lance hates Journey and let's tease him about it.
So, the conclusion of that is Steve found out that Lance hates Journey.
So he'll constantly make jokes about don't stop believing and...
Because Lance hates Journey.
I hate...
He's just upset because he couldn't choose the music and have it any way he wants it.
Oh, wow. That was good.
I don't hate Journey, but I hate somebody in this room right now.
Ha-
2 of them.
Ouch. Well, that just broke my heart.
On Valentine's Day.
You just broke my heart.
Wow, that was a crappy Valentine's Day.
Dang. I'll finish mine too then.
We're a little thirsty.
I drank too much of it before this episode.
So anything else new, gentlemen, that we want to discuss? Break down? You see any new movies, TV shows, binge anything?
Well,
fun?
We don't have the binging problem.
Well, it's not a problem because it gives me stuff to talk about each week, doesn't it?
Ooh, gives him content. That's a good argument, Steve.
I'm not doing it for
That is
me.
a
I'm
good
doing
argument.
it for you, the audience. I'm selflessly subjecting myself to hours of television and movie content each week for you.
That
And
was
even
well
before
spoken.
you came along, he did that.
I was preparing to have a backlog of content to discuss on this show.
Ah, very nice.
So I will back to what I said a few weeks ago, where I'd watched the first episode of Chernobyl. I did wind up watching the entirety of it.
Oh, nice.
So good. So it winds up. I had initially said that Jared Harris was the main character, which is true, but Stellan Skarsgård is also in it, and he's a very big character as well. And
Nice.
like just there is this. I think it's the 4th episode. Is a little hard to watch if you're an animal person.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard about that.
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
The 4th gets hard.
Dang it.
Just
I mean, it's Chernobyl.
in historical context, you've got to know what happened. Basically, radiation infecting and poisoning everything, including the animals. So any animals, pets, or wildlife that were in the radiation zone
Of course, are going to die.
are going to have to be put down.
It's just like
So there's an episode that focuses
humans who get
on
sick
that.
too. I mean, so it's like...
How many episodes was this?
5.
Because I remember when the first episode aired, it was like really highly rated. But then it like sort of blew up.
I knew it. I knew
He
it.
looked at me like, where is he going?
I
with this?
knew
know there's a
it.
joke
I knew.
coming.
You know, it's getting to the point where we can almost read when one's about to... Well, Lance probably can. He's still known you a little bit longer than me.
The air gets a little colder in the room.
There's a chill, hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Yeah, spider sense. And just
Uh-huh.
like, oh,
It's like,
it's gonna
It's
happen,
like you
isn't it?
just start feeling like chills and you're like, here it comes. Crap. Brace yourself.
And then,
And
bam! It lands.
you can't get out of the way.
You can't. It's like a tracking beam. I mean, it literally tracks you and then beams you.
That's what tracking
You mean tractor beam?
That's what I said.
You said tracking beam.
Oh,
Tomato.
there you go. Possum, opossum, pterodactyl, pterodactyl.
You should sneak
I don't
around.
know what
You should sneak
pterodactyl
around to
is.
the middle of the Death Star and turn off the tractor beam. Disable it.
Oh,
I also watched Watership Down on Netflix.
never heard of it.
Not as popular over here, but apparently it's very popular over in the UK because it's based on a very popular children's book that was adapted into like animated series and movies like in the 70s, 80s, or whatever the case may be.
Gotcha.
But it's about rabbits.
Real.
They're like not anthropomorphic rabbits, like real rabbits.
JoJo Rabbit?
No, but it's funny that we talked about JoJo Rabbit, we talked about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and now we're talking about actual rabbits.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with JoJo.
No.
Okay.
So
As you can
follows
see.
these rabbits as they start losing their home from humans. Like,
Well, that's sad.
tearing up the warren that they live in, their dens and stuff. So they're trying to go to a new place, and they wind up running into these sort of evil rabbits, and they go to war with these rabbits. Like it gets rough, brutal, hardcore. Characters die in it. It's like a 4 episode miniseries, and it gets like really hard to watch. Like the cast is crazy though. The main characters are played by James McAvoy. I'm going to actually read it off here so I don't miss anybody because there were some crazy big names in this.
Is this film like the movie Cats?
It's CGI, but they're not with humans' faces on them.
Oh, that's too bad.
They just look like real rabbits. Like the CGI is not as good as you probably want it to be.
I'd like to see James McAvoy's face on a rabbit.
Do you?
I have to say, though, I will check it out. Any recommendations? It's just I haven't been on Netflix much. I've been stuck on like Funimation, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Mainly it's been anime recently.
I watch so much stuff, I don't expect anybody to watch everything of what I watch. But I throw out the recommendations so that if something sticks, it gives you something to watch. Especially if you run out of, like you finish a show and you don't know what to watch next. Just look for one of Lance's
something-
recommendations.
Yeah. And then if it sucks, blame him later.
So James McAvoy and Nicholas Hoult are the two main characters.
Dang.
Nicholas Hoult, is Beast. John Boyega, Finn from
What?
Star Wars. Ben Kingsley.
Dang.
Tom Wilkinson.
Sir Ben Kingsley?
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Uh,
Dang, Steve.
like, there's a lot of names on here. Like, a lot of them. I'm not going to read all of them off. Like, Gemma Chan, Freddie Fox, Taron Egerton plays a small little role in it.
Freddy Krueger.
Mackenzie Crook.
Like a bunny?
Olivia Colman.
Dang.
Yeah, Peter
And
Capaldi.
was this a big movie?
It's, well, like I said, it's bigger over there because it was co-produced by BBC. So, more popular over there. The animation is hit or miss, but the way the story's told, the voice acting is so good. I really would recommend it, and it's short. Like I said, it's only 4 episodes. They're like 40 minutes apiece.
Nice.
So it's easy to binge in a week, like an evening. But yeah, like crazy. Not what you'd expect for what's supposed to be a kids series centered on rabbits.
Okay.
I think that's all I've watched since the last time we were on, so I can't really recommend anything else right now.
Yeah, you like JoJo Rabbit, you like Watership Down, but he's not a fan of Peter Rabbit.
You'd think I've got a thing for rabbits, but Peter Rabbit just looks terrible.
We need to find a so bad movie of a killer. Well, I mean, what is that? The Holy Grail had a killer rabbit in it.
That's not a so bad movie. That's an awesome
That
movie.
movie's amazing. But I'm
I
saying,
had a girlfriend who had a thing for rabbits. That's why she broke up with me.
Why?
Do you prefer the rabbit?
She picked a rabbit over you?
you're kidding.
That's a interesting reason to break up with somebody.
She
She said I wouldn't need it anymore after she went to Intimate Treasures in the back room.
I mean, we made it pretty clear this show's not for kids, and when I do put it on YouTube, I state that it's not for children so that we don't get into trouble on YouTube. But for those that don't know, a rabbit
Oh, here we go.
is a sex toy. It is a vibrator of sorts. So.
So if this show isn't for kids, who are you explaining that to exactly?
I'm explaining it to anybody in the audience that doesn't know explicitly what it is. Somebody that's...
I didn't know.
Well, Gabe knows what a rabbit is now.
Now I know what one is. I didn't. I mean, I'm not ashamed. I didn't. You don't know anything until you learn that thing. So, I just learned.
Facts.
You learn something new every freaking day. Don't you, Steve?
Yes.
Or do you know everything?
No, I don't know everything.
I mean, like, you have infinite wisdom.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I never agreed to watch Reptilian.
Steve's limit and Steve's wisdom is finite.
Oh. He is very smart, though. I mean,
Oh, no one's arguing that.
Steve, tell him how much you win trivia. A lot.
You fare better than we all would.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let this man fool you.
When you're a 900-year-old Jedi Master, you picked up a few nuggets of information.
Like chicken nuggets?
Chicken nuggies.
Chicky nuggies. Baby Yoda. Chicken
Shout out to
nuggies.
Baby Yoda.
Shout out to Baby Yoda. And what'd you find out about the pop? Baby Yoda pop? Something about the Baby Yoda pop is...
Yeah, they announced last week right after we did our episode last week, they announced that it was the best-selling pop vinyl of all time.
Best-selling pop vinyl.
Shout out to Baby Yoda and shout out to Pop Vinyl.
Pop vinyl. Maybe they can sponsor us and...
Yeah, we'll just keep shouting out brand names on here. Sonic and McDonald's with my cups.
My Hero, Funimation.
Shout out Pop Vinyl.
Power
So hopefully
Rangers.
somebody will sponsor this content at some point and we can make some money and get some free shit.
Samsung. You know what I'm saying, baby? Woo!
Yeah, you talked about Samsung pretty highly a couple weeks ago.
I talked about that they were doing their keynote coming up February 11th. That's right, February 11th. Samsung is going to announce their new phones. Go check them out. Maybe
But
if
by the
you
way-
want to.
But, by the way, we don't want whoever makes the rabbit to sponsor us.
Ah,
I mean, I'd take it sorely for the money, but I don't want the free merch that would come along with that.
yeah, but we would have to
I don't want
start advertising their products.
No, what you
And
do
then
is
it would become a
you watch
selling-
podcasts, they do it at the end of the episode. They say, this episode is brought to you by the rabbit. If you and your wife are having troubles in the bedroom, buy the rabbit.
Yeah.
For all of your extramarital needs.
And then they would pay us.
hop out and
start-
buy one.
Hop out and buy one. And then you can hop in with one.
Hop on down the bunny trail to intimate treasures.
Hop on in, buy one. Hop on out with one.
What's up, Doc?
Okay. And then they would turn us into an infomercial instead of a podcast.
Well, that's how sponsoring works. You have to mention
I'm talking about the
sponsor.
2 hour long that's like, this ring, blah, 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 and they give you the prices on the side and whatever.
I thought you meant like the ShamWow guy.
Shamrock.
ShamWow.
ShamWow.
Well, that Flex Seal.
No. Oh, wait a minute. The...
OxyClean.
Yeah. OxyClean. Buy OxyClean now! Yeah, there's that.
Was it Billy Mays is the one who used to do it, and there's like
And he
he
passed
died
away.
of a heart attack with coke in his system, and people are like, he had coke in his system? Funny, he was always so calm.
What?
It's a joke.
Every time he's singing it,
Screaming, yeah. Anything else you guys want to cover in this week's episode before we let our people go?
Well, I think this. I think this is just more of a happy Valentine's Day, and hopefully
some of
they
us-
were able to follow along with Reptilian.
No, some of us have hot dates tonight on Valentine's Day.
Oh, do we?
Oh.
I didn't say any of us. I said some.
So some of them.
Some of y'all have hot dates. We don't want to take too much of your Valentine's Day when you see this, either happy or belated.
True.
I think I'm good.
I think this is the best Valentine's Day episode we've had since we started this.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The best Valentine's Day episode ever. Or at least thus far.
I am forced to agree with that.
By
And
default.
we'll have to gear up for our St. Patrick's Day special next month.
Crap, that's right.
We're just going to do holiday specials each month that have nothing to do with the holiday except for saying the holiday.
That holiday.
I guess when we... Because somebody, I think Caleb mentioned Santa's Sleigh for a future episode, or somebody did, for Bad Movie Club.
Okay.
Maybe we save that for when we get close to the holidays and we theme the movie for all the month of December. We'll do bad Christmas movies,
Shout out, by the way,
and then
for
for
that.
October, bad Halloween movies.
12 days of bad movies.
Ooh. And try to find all bad Christmas movies. Dang, that's a good
Just
idea.
turn on the Hallmark Channel.
Well, I think that came from Caleb, right?
I think it was. Let me double check.
If it was Caleb, shout out. If it wasn't Caleb, shout out anyways. Hello. You rock. Yes, you.
Because I keep them talking so I can keep looking here.
You know, it's like, it reminds me of Anchorman. Still one of the greatest films, and I never get bored watching it. Just like, I'm kind of a big deal.
Let me pull out my...
What do you rate
That shelf, though.
Anchor? Now, Second one's good. First
Not
one
near
is
as good as the first.
phenomenal.
It won't stand so straight.
Here, let me hold them while you... Don't throw them. Why is that one so thick? That's what she asked.
It's the special version, man. It's got the Wake Up Ron Burgundy movie inside of it and everything. It's got all kinds
That's incredible.
Yeah, man.
Look at this, y'all. So if y'all have not seen Anchorman and you just love like stupid humor, please watch it. It is.
They love stupid humor. They listen to this.
That's true. Wait, whose humor are you calling stupid?
Whoever the audience chooses.
Well, yeah, true. It's up to y'all.
Okay,
But these movies. Oops.
So Adam Bowen suggested.
Adam.
DJ Shaolin Monkey, shout out to Shaolin Monkey, suggested Santa Sleigh. Caleb suggested Kung Fury, which I
Kung Fury. Wait a minute.
went against and said Kung Fury was awesome. Not
I've seen
bad.
that movie.
The YouTube short.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes long.
I think so.
I love Kung Fury. We could talk about Kung Fury on here.
Well, yeah.
But it would not be a bad movie club segment because it's not bad.
But shout out to all y'all. Thank y'all very much for suggesting.
You guys keep active with us on Facebook as well as in the YouTube comments below. Give us suggestions for movies you want covered in future Bad Movie Club segments. We appreciate that because eventually we will run out of ones to come up with on our own. So,
if we can get 60 subscribers, Steve will get up on this table and dance.
I don't know about that.
Steve will dance.
I'll throw him under the bus for that. He can dance if we get 60 subscribers.
Is that... You want to dance?
How many do we have?
We were at 43 or 44.
Yeah, 44. 44
which it could be
last
higher
time.
by the time this airs. So,
Or, we could lose some, but we still love y'all. Just...
if you unsubscribe, we don't
How many
love
do you want to
anymore.
lose when I start dancing?
No, once we hit 60, if you're okay with it, you'll do a dance for them.
Do a little dance.
Is that okay?
Get a little love. Get down
We won't have 60 the next week after that airs.
Yeah, we're at 44 at this time. So, like I said, that could go up or down by the time we air this episode. But that's where we're at right now.
We'll
You
only
got
get
a
better.
You got a better chance at Tobey Maguire dancing better than me.
Also, I did want to reference on air here that my sister-in-law, my wife's brother's wife, had said that you gave her Donnie Baker vibes. Jerica.
Ah.
She said that you reminded her of Donnie Baker. I don't necessarily see the connection, but thank you for the feedback.
Boom. There you go. We have a celebrity in our midst. You sexy man, Peach.
I'm just an internet sensation. What can I say?
Call him the rabbit.
Oh, no, I take that back. We're up to 66% of our viewers being non-subscribed. So we're doing a little bit better than 70. But we still need the rest of you guys to subscribe.
Just click that subscribe. Click that bell notification if you do want to know when we post a video. And we love you.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Subscribe. 'Cause you do it with Disney Plus. You do it with Netflix. You do it with Hulu. What's one more?
Yeah, we don't cost anything.
You don't have to pay us to subscribe and we'll just get better and
We
better.
give ourselves away to you for free.
Yeah.
That's going to call it a day here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yes. Y'all go enjoy each other. And the rabbit.
Make sure you give us a like on Facebook. Follow each one of us individually on Twitter. Steve, you brought that out of the bottle, so that's on you.
That is on you.
You let that
You
genie out of the
started
I
bottle.
explained what it was to him.
Well, yeah, so they could get the reference.
I'm considerate. So, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. See you guys next time.